The Fool and the Princess.
A long time ago, a young man named Ondo lived in a country called 고구려. He lived with his old blind mother, cutting trees in the woods and selling them for a living. He was a warm-hearted and kind person, but was known as Fool Ondo because of his lack of learning. Meanwhile, King Pyeongwon, who ruled the country, had a daughter named Pyeonggang. Princess Pyeonggang was well known as a crybaby. So the king always said,
"If you keep crying, you should get married to Fool Ondo."
As years rolled by, Princess Pyeonggang grew up beautifully and was in her age to be married. King Pyeongwon willed to marry the princess into a noble family. However, Princess Pyeonggang said,
"How can the king change his words?"
and announced that since she had promised to marry the fool Ondo, she should marry him. Eventually, she had a big fight with King Pyeongwon and left the palace with her luxury belongings. After leaving the palace, Princess Pyeonggang went to Ondo's house alone. When Princess Pyeonggang arrived at Ondo's house, she told Ondo's blind mother and Ondo that she wanted to marry Ondo.
"I'm just an ugly fool. Please, I'm not good enough."
Ondo begged the princess to go back. However, Princess Pyeonggang didn't budge, and since it was too late, she stayed overnight. Despite Ondo's rejection of her, Princess Pyeonggang went into the house whenever Ondo was not at home. She continuously took care of Ondo's mother with utmost care and cleaned the house wholly. Eventually, Ondo got moved by Princess Pyeonggang's sincerity towards him and decided to welcome her happily. Princess Pyeonggang let Ondo do something mystery. One day, the princess said,
"Honey, go out and buy the sick horse that the king used to ride."
Ondo did as she said. The princess diligently fed and raised the horse, then made it healthy and lively. Then the princess started teaching Ondo to make him a brilliant person. Ondo spent busy days with the princess while studying martial arts during the day and writing at night. In March, the two heard the news that a grand hunting competition would be held in the country.
"Honey, go and show your skills you've honed over the years,"
She said,
"I'll be sure to win and come back. I promise."
Ondo said bravely. During the competition, Ondo showed off his skills and won the championship. The king approached Ondo to congratulate his achievement.
How, where did such young men appear? May I ask what your name is?
"Of course, Your Majesty. My name is Ondo."
The king was surprised and said,
You are Ondo? Fool Ondo who married my daughter?
"Yes, my king. It is all thanks to Princess Pyeonggang that I won the tournament."
The king smiled and said,
Please forget the past when I was against you. Ho ho ho.
Once, there was a chance to show his skillful leadership from the attack of the enemy. He led all his soldiers from the front and made a hit. Then, Ondo became a general of 고구려. This time, he left for the battlefield to retrieve the lost land.
"I swear I won't come back until I reclaim our land."
Unfortunately, Ondo was shot by an arrow from the Shinra soldier and fell in the wall. 고구려 army forced tries to move Ondo's coffin to hold a funeral. However, it did not budge as if stuck to the ground. Pyeonggam got a letter from the army and headed to see Ondo in a hurry. As she arrived shedding a tear, she gently patted his coffin and wished him to put his will down.
Birth and death is upon the sky.
You already have done your best. Please, rest in peace.
Surprisingly, the coffin moved, and they could comfort him. The heartwarming story of Princess Pyeonggam and Ondo in Goguryeo has been handed down for a long time.